Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest edition of Wow, Lynch, Wow, dedicated to filmmaker David Lynch and inspired by the triumphant return of Twin Peaks. Will there be a fourth season of Twin Peaks? That's the question a lot of fans are beginning to ask during the 2-week holiday break. As someone who is usually a glass half empty type of guy, I'm thrilled that we still have more than halfway to go, and I'm optimistic that the best is yet to come. And despite my normally pessimistic ways, I'm also feeling very optimistic that we will indeed get a fourth season of Twin Peaks. Ultimately, things begin and end with David Lynch. As far as my understanding goes, Lynch has stated that he has no plans for anything beyond this season, beyond these 18 parts, but he also said something to the effect that he would be willing to continue if given the chance under the right circumstances. I, for one, have no doubt that however things unfold from here, and however things ultimately draw to an end with Part 18, that things will never be completely tied up in a neat little package. That's just not Lynch's style. There will always be a little wiggle room, and probably a lot of wiggle room, for Lynch to imagine his way into a new mystery that in itself becomes the center of so many other mysteries. Part 8 proved this point and elevated it to new heights. We are seeing rival forces in a battle of the ages, for the ages, and through the ages. The potential story growth is infinite. Star actor Kyle MacLachlan, who's kicking a lot of ass with some superb acting, he indicated in a recent interview that he would be eager to do more Twin Peaks beyond the return. And then we have co-creator Mark Frost. He wrote the book that came out last year, The Secret History of Twin Peaks, and you can now pre-order his next book, Twin Peaks: The Final Dossier, which is due for an October 31st release after Twin Peaks: The Return is already off the air. So if I'm interpreting all of this correctly, Frost and MacLachlan seem interested in moving forward, and I think Lynch will definitely want to move forward as long as he gets his artistic freedom and an adequate budget to produce his visions. This ultimately leaves things in the hands of the powers that be at Showtime. Showtime is in the business of selling subscriptions, and their goal is to satisfy existing subscribers while enticing the unsubscribed to subscribe. In addition to their normal services, they have various streaming options available, and they also have additional licensing opportunities with services like Netflix and Amazon Prime. Ratings for initial airings of Twin Peaks episodes have been low, but Showtime has indicated that they had a record number of new subscribers and a record number of streaming views affiliated with Twin Peaks, where the total after a full week, combining all the different means by which we can watch, paints a much more positive overall picture. I think this could already be viewed as a win for Showtime, but with 10 parts still left to go, the buzz is likely to continue increasing, and when Twin Peaks ultimately becomes eligible for television awards, I'm imagining it's going to get an abundance of nominations and several big wins along the way. This will ultimately act to generate even more buzz for Showtime, the type of buzz that I would imagine will result in an awful lot of Showtime executives patting themselves on the back. All of this being said, while it may now be a bit premature, I know a number of Twin Peaks fans are already rallying towards the cause of a fourth season. Given the premature, disappointing ending of Season 2, all those years ago, it is perfectly understandable to me that many die-hard Twin Peaks fans are taking preemptive action. In fact, there is already an early petition floating around in support of the cause. I have provided a link to the petition in the description of this video, so for anyone interested in helping make the early push towards hopefully getting a 4th season, please add your name to the petition and be sure to share it with your fellow Twin Peaks fans. And in addition to that, there has also been a push to contact Showtime executives and express our wishes for a 4th season of Twin Peaks. Give them a call, shoot them a polite email, because if you made it this far into this video, I'm assuming you're probably a big-time Twin Peaks fan like me. So let's put the full court press on early, and maybe we can still get more than 10 new parts in our favorite world, both strange and wonderful. For my part, I'm absolutely loving the new Twin Peaks. Even though we've had 8 hours of new material, I honestly still cannot believe the Twin Peaks is actually back after all these years. And however these next 10 episodes end, I love what Lynch and team are doing. I'm grateful we're getting to see a continuation of the story after all these years, and I genuinely hope that we can continue getting a continuation of this story well beyond this year. So hopefully, David Lynch, Mark Frost, Kyle MacLachlan, all the other big players, and the powers that be at Showtime, hopefully they can all come together and make this happen. I think David Lynch is the greatest living filmmaker, and I think this is a win-win for everyone. For Lynch, for Frost, for Showtime, for Kyle, and especially for the fans. Like I said, I'm feeling unusually optimistic about this myself, and I wouldn't be surprised if the early scripts for next season are already underway. For those of you interested in more Twin Peaks after this year, please sign the petition and make your voice heard at Showtime. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great night, everyone, and long live Twin Peaks.